Welcome back. It's Mushlove from the Mushroom. Excited for a special episode today. It is October 27th. We're in spooky season, Halloween. Still beautiful weather outside, at least if you're in Philly. I'm sure it's beautiful and awesome too. It's probably even better. And not really sure. Devin, are you in Philly as well?
I'm in Jersey, but yeah, I'm getting that
You're in
Philly
Jersey?
weather. It's nice out
Good
here.
stuff. Good stuff. There we go. So, as you guys can hopefully see, or if you're listening in, you can't see, but you just heard, we have a guest in today. So, this is, I think, our second, maybe third guest that we've ever had, which it's always fun when we have a guest. We have Devin. So, Devin, I guess just to get started, you want to tell everyone a little bit about yourself, just where you're from, Jersey, what you do, and all that?
I'm from Jersey. I'm about 23 years old. I'm actually close friends with Camp. We grew up together. We've been friends since childhood. We rode the same bus together. So yeah, it's nice to have me on the show with him to talk to you guys about this. And really, I'm just another person that just loves to be creative and loves to be on the computer and learn how to make videos and YouTube. And right now, I'm just trying to find my way and just working on myself, exercising and stuff like that. So yeah, happy to be
Nice.
here.
I like it. And you said you're into creative stuff. Do you do music? Do you do painting, art? What type
I'm
of
I'm
stuff?
actually I'm actually a gamer. I play games pretty much on my free time, for Twitch and YouTube. I've
Awesome.
actually done one tournament for Call of Duty for money, but really I just do it for fun. Um,
Cool.
yeah,
Good stuff. Is Call of Duty your main game then?
yeah, Call of Duty's my main game right now.
Awesome. Good stuff. So I guess like you probably know, we usually talk about mushrooms on here. A lot of time we talk about microdosing mushrooms. So I'm sure Danny, or as you said, Camp, I'll call him Camp now, um, mentioned probably microdosing to you. I think we both started microdosing pretty regularly around the same time. And both of us, I think, attribute a lot of positive changes in our lives to it and have kind of been evangelizing it ever since, telling everyone we can, hey, you got to try this, at least try it. Hopefully, it has good benefits. At the very worst, you won't feel much. But I'm sure he probably told you, have you microdosed before? Have you microdosed
Uh,
before he mentioned it to you, or how's your experience microdosing kind of been?
I actually have not. I did not microdose before Danny told me about it, but when Danny told me about it, I was definitely all for it and into it. I've done mushrooms before once before my first microdose,
Hmm.
and so I kind of knew I did a lot of research too about how mushrooms affect you. So once Danny told me about microdosing, I was definitely all for it, and I did it my first time about 2 3 months ago. I guess I would say.
Nice.
Pretty consistently. I was doing it about 2 3 days every 2 3 days, and I would say really it would give me a better feeling of just anxiety, more awareness of how I feel in my body and the mind
Right.
and stuff like that. But yeah, I've been doing it for about 3 months now consistently. So yeah, every 2 to 3 days.
That's what's up.
Vitamin schedule, you already know. Every 2 to 3
Yeah,
days, that's the way.
exactly. So I feel like I've basically been telling everyone, hey, microdosing could be beneficial for you because I feel like it could be beneficial so many different ways, either to help you be creative, or if you have like maybe mental health issues, or a lot of even other health issues. Um, I guess this is a little bit of a weird question, but like Danny, did you kind of recommend it to Devin knowing he was a creative, or maybe did you know everyone's having a hard time the last year with the pandemic, so he
Yeah.
could use it, or
So,
you just tell everyone about it?
yeah, so me and Dev, like I said, we're like he's mentioned earlier, we went to school together, and I feel like we always kind of have been on the same type of energy, kind of high metabolism, slightly anxious, but like still kind of funny characters like that and everything. So I feel like when I started microdosing and much more, hooked us up with that, I was like pretty quick to start, telling my friends about it and stuff, and was like, yo, I mean, I just spoke openly about how much it was helping me and all the changes, and I think from afar, maybe Dev could see it too. Like that's right around the time I started doing cold plunges and really taking my fitness serious. So I think
Hmm.
he saw the results within me and stuff, and it's kind of spoke for itself. And like he had said, I knew he had an interest in mushrooms but just not a lot of experience with it. So I thought like since he only had one kind of macrodose before that, I thought microdosing would be a good way to kind of like get him into understanding like the mushroom culture a little bit more and the effects and stuff. So I mean,
Hmm.
as him being a fellow creative, I figured that would definitely help him a lot with like his own brand, maybe creative ideas. But then the main reason was more so for just like, mental health, anxiety, fitness. Like
Hmm.
I know me and him, well, like every time he would come over to my house in Philly, we would have long, like hour-long conversations about what we're struggling with and very like conscious topics about what we could be improving on. We're both like, self-critical creatives that are always trying to improve. So I was like, hey man, this has definitely been helping me out a lot. Definitely worth giving it a shot. So I referred him to Mushmore, and then he got his free trial through them. And yeah, it was cool to be able to like see him the next time and be like, yo, how's it been? Or talk to him on a day where we're both microdosing and be like, yo, like I'm feeling great today. I got so much shit done. There was some interesting conversations. Like for example, the one time he was working at where were you working at the time? Fucking
First, when it was Sam's Club, like, how long ago?
Sam's Club. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, Sam's Club.
there was one time he was working at Sam's Club and like he was like not I wouldn't say negative effects, but it's just like I remember
Oh yeah.
becoming aware of like
Mm,
some of the more conscious aspects of it too, where it's like I have that one post where I'm like when you start when you microdose and then you hear unconscious bullshit and it's like
mm,
just goes kind of over your head. And not to say he was in an unconscious environment, but like the one time he's like, yeah, like today I had a shift at work and I just didn't feel compelled to talk anyone. Like I didn't really want to engage in conversation. And he was almost like, yeah, maybe like the microdoses kind of was like a negative thing today. And I was like, or maybe you're just in an environment that isn't like conducive to you feeling expressive, and maybe that's actually the microdose telling you like this might not be the best environment for you. And since then,
mhm.
he's quit and he hasn't worked there and stuff. So it's just been
Hmm.
cool
That's
to see.
awesome. Congrats. Hell
Thank
Yeah.
you.
yeah.
It's definitely been
Yeah.
cool to see his journey through it, because I definitely had a lot of the same things. I had like the really strong positive effects, and then there'd be certain days where I was really introspective and like almost it felt like too much. But the one thing we talk about a lot, Jeremy, is how the mushrooms sort of lead you to where you need to go, even if it's the realizations can be uncomfortable or the way they affect you
Definitely.
might not be the most positive. It still ultimately leads to a positive result. So yeah.
Definitely. I
Yeah.
like that. I like that a lot. So, a couple questions. One, when you started, I guess you knew there was a lot of potential benefits. Did you have like an intention of like one specific thing you were going for? Or you kind of would just wanted to try it out and see what happened. And then second question, you can kind of answer one, both, whatever, is I feel like it's probably pretty nice to have Danny to go and question if something comes up like, hey, this is a negative experience. Do you think it's really important to have someone to go to, or do you think it would have still been a good experience if you did it solo, but um, just having him to, I guess, refer to is a little bit
Yeah,
more
those are
important?
great questions. There has been time when when I was microdosing, I was doing it knowing that I would have benefits from it, not necessarily trying to find one specific thing from it or anything like that. I
Mm,
would more so when not necessarily every time, but when I trip when I actually do mushrooms, I there's more of that I'm looking for something feeling, but
mm,
it's not necessarily always that. But for sure, to answer your question, the first one, I would say that I'm just doing it for the benefits necessarily because I know that there's long-term benefits from just
mm,
being more in touch with yourself and just necessarily just the microdose makes me feel like less anxious and just I feel
mm,
more self-aware with my body and my mind, with my thoughts. Like Kent was saying, like the unconscious feelings when I was at work. I kind of told him like I was saying that I didn't really feel like I wanted to talk to people, and I am a social. I talk to people. I'm a talkable, very relatable person that can talk to
yeah.
people, and I just felt like I wasn't myself at that point in time, and I was very aware of that.
Mm,
So, and to answer your second question, I do think it's important to have someone to talk to because I don't think I would have made that such a point what if I didn't have to tell it to camp. Like if I didn't have someone to
mm,
tell that to, that wouldn't have been such a very important point to me. So like I feel
yeah.
like if there's no one to like you reflect back on like how your experience was, you're
Mm,
not gonna really get all those points out. Cause like even there's even things I still forget while I'm
yeah.
microdosing or while I'm tripping that I can't really remember to say to whoever I'm reflecting to. So
Yeah, no, I agree. I feel like I'm not the best at knowing what my body is feeling sometimes too, where sometimes like it'll take camp saying, "Hey, I was
yeah,
tired
that
after I
too.
took too much," and I'll be like, "You know what? I was actually tired too."
Hmm.
So it's helpful in that way of just
Yeah,
like reflecting and seeing what
that's for
happens.
sure.
Awesome. So I guess, do you plan on microdosing for the future? Are you gonna like take a break and maybe do it again? Are you gonna maybe macrodose again? Or I guess, what are your plans for the future? How are you gonna use it as a tool?
Microdosing. Well, to be honest, when I have to get more, but I definitely enjoy the effects of microdosing. I told a lot of people about it too. So like my mom, my dad, my
That's
friends.
awesome.
Yeah, I told
What did your parents think?
both my parents are they believe that I am definitely like onto something, but like the propaganda when they grow up, it's like
Hmm.
completely different. So they're a little bit hesitant, but like they know that my head's on straight, and they know that I'm onto something when it comes to it. So they just believe me, and they trust me whenever I do whatever it is. I'm not gonna pressure them or force anything onto them whenever they're not ready, but my
Nice.
dad, he likes to hear whatever I have to tell him when I go through it, when I microdose or macrodose. So, and my mom too. So,
That's
yeah.
awesome. That's really cool, and that's awesome that you can be open with them. Um, Something I just got reminded of, I guess. So I've been sharing this with all of my friends. A lot of my black friends, when they first like saw it, they're like, I don't know, my friends aren't going to be like too open to like mushrooms. I probably a lot of the propaganda that they've heard and whatnot. But surprisingly, a lot of them, I'll talk to them a week or two later, and they're like, you know what? It actually like seems like a lot of my friends are up on this. It's just like
Hmm.
not spoken about as much. Do you think there's a difference in the black or white community of like the reception to mushrooms? Do you think that they're both like kind of growing a lot right now, so it doesn't even matter? It's just getting bigger. Or?
Um, I think yeah, it may have a little bit of effect between black and white, but I definitely think it's the age group. I think it's like
Mm,
our generation, or our age, like 20 to like 27, versus like 30-year-olds and up. They're gonna be more so like they have that war against drugs, that Ronald Reagan
mhm.
on TV. There's nothing good about tripping and LSD. That's that shit. So like that is
Yeah,
like that's I feel like that's more so what's holding people back than whether you're black or white or any color. But I think that's more so what's holding people back from,
I hear you.
mushrooms or any other psychedelics versus us. Like we're more so trying new things. The internet's in our face, TikTok, everything. You have so many things to tell you like this is good. There's benefits from this, and it's not all bad. So.
Definitely,
Mhm.
I agree with that. Danny, do you have any closing comments, thoughts, questions?
Um, yeah, let me think for a sec. Well, I
Mhm.
guess we talked a lot about microdosing, so I guess just going over to macrodosing. I know we've talked about some of the experiences, and after microdosing, you had what, maybe like 2 or 3 macrodoses since you started microdosing.
Mhm.
So yeah, I would just say like, what is your kind of perception of like? I know you were saying you put a little bit more intention when you macrodose, and you kind of normally go into it with like some type of goal. I guess like because it's like so different microdosing to
It is.
macrodosing, and like
Mhm.
that's one thing I try to make known to the audience because a lot of the time I've talked to people who have tripped and are hesitant to microdose because they're like, oh my god, like that shit's so intense, and I'm like, well, yeah, it's not the same thing at all. It's like, you know what I mean, like that's like drinking a Bang energy drink versus having one sip of coffee in the morning. You know what I mean? It's like apples
Right.
and oranges. So I guess I would say like yeah, what would have been some of your experiences like with macrodosing versus microdosing, and like maybe some experiences or lessons you've learned from that, or anything in that realm?
On a more physical level, when it comes to microdosing and macrodosing, the visuals are much, they're not really there at all when you're microdosing. When you're macrodosing, it's your full on. It's depending on how much you take and what strain it is, maybe, but in your environment and where you're at, all that. A lot of things are important go into a factor, but macrodosing, you feel way more. You feel the mushrooms way more. When it comes to microdosing, I feel like it's more of a psychological thing to the fact that you're taking the supplement every day or every other day, every few days, and like you're it's kind of like you're putting your trust into the mushrooms, kind of, to me. But when
Mm-hmm.
you're taking a macrodose, it's like it says, you're going on a trip, you're kind of just going for it, you have to surrender, like, so it's like it's a little different. That's way different, like you said.
Mhm.
So um for my experiences, I had two macro doses. So my very first one was very visual. I was with my friends. I told you about it.
Mm-hmm.
We just chilled in the apartment, watched a movie, lights, smoked. We had food. We had a great time. It was fun, music, all that. And then the second time I was actually by myself in my room, and I actually didn't enjoy myself. It was kind of like I kind of felt nauseous and kind of felt like I had to curl up. And I was getting a lot of like different messages and notes when I was like had my eyes closed. And I wouldn't say it was bad overall. I would just say there was something that I wasn't ready for. That's what I got from it. There was something I wasn't ready for. But yeah, since then I haven't tripped again. But I've been microdosing, so
And
yeah.
When you do it again, do you think you'll do it by yourself then, or you'll probably do it with people because there's more to
I
it?
honestly have I don't know. I haven't thought about that. It's a good
Nice.
question.
I kind of prefer by myself. I feel like some people.
That's the
I
thing. I
think it's
feel
like
like I feel like I would have liked being by myself better, but
yeah,
I didn't.
yeah.
And when the
Uh,
camp said to me a lot, like collaboration is key. So it's like it's good to be with people, especially with good energy and the similar energy. So it all depends on whatever it is you're ready for. Every experience is different. So and honestly, I don't doubt that if I did it by myself, I'd have a great time.
yeah,
To be honest, but I don't know. I haven't
I
really thought
also
about it.
think
How I'd
sort of
be
the
next.
circumstances of, like you said, it was like super late night when you came
Yeah, it was
up, and it
late.
was like you couldn't have went outside even if you wanted to and stuff. So I think that
Yeah,
was probably more of like circumstantial. And you did say you probably had some stuff like below the surface. You know, a lot of the
yeah,
time when you have stuff going on in your head, the connection between the gut biome and the mind is very very tied. So like if you got shit going on in your head, it might fuck up your stomach, or if your stomach's fucked up, it might fuck up your head. Whatever the causation correlation is there. And then one last inquiry I had is because, like, I know you're creative. I know you're a content creator, and you try to. Sometimes it's hard to like, think of like, all right, what's my next post gonna be, or what is like, how can I make my own context on what everyone else is doing on TikTok and make it my own. I would ask like on microdosing because I just read an article recently and it said that microdosing helps with creative insights even for like weeks after microdosing. So I was wondering if like there's ever been times on a day where you're microdosing where you're like, oh, I have like a sick idea for this, or like if it helps you with content or like when you're game. Because I know sometimes when I microdose, I don't like computers and I don't like technology.
yeah.
So I wonder like for you, is it like you're less likely to be gaming and doing stuff, but maybe it helps with like creative content ideas, or maybe vice versa. Like that's
I It's crazy. I actually feel the same way as you do. I don't really like being on my computer when I on shrooms. I don't know. Um I wouldn't say that there's been a time that I had like, a little creative idea here and there, but I don't know if it was because of the microdose. I think it was just might have been the time. But I don't necessarily like being here. Like I don't like sitting here in this space, like in my comfortable space. When I'm microdosing for some reason, it just feels like I need to be around nature. I need to be outside, air. I need to do something active. I don't know. I just don't know what it is, but maybe towards the end of the night, once I'm like done everything, it feels better.
right.
right.
But I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. That's not. I don't want to say that microdosing makes me hate what I love. It's not like that. It's just like I just don't. I just rather feel like I want to feel more connected to the earth and be outside and doing something more natural.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah,
I completely feel the same way. So that's why I asked,
same
because I
here.
know you're definitely like spend a lot of your normal time on the computer. And when I take it,
Yeah.
I feel like it's good because you like you said, it's not like you hate the thing you normally love. It's just the thing you love normally is very technological. So I feel like that's probably a good kind of
Yes.
like a break away from it. And one other last thing that just popped in my head too is fitness. I know you've been hitting the gym hard, and me and you
There we
both
go.
are big into that. Do you think have you microdosed when you work out, and do you think it has any effect on it, positive or negative?
Nope, I don't think I have done it. I don't think it has any positive or negative effect. I feel like it just more. I don't think when I'm in the gym, like I said, it makes me feel more in tune with my body. Well, so I guess I can say a positive effect in that is like when I feel like if I'm lethargic or if I'm tired or if I'm really up, I notice it more when I'm
Okay.
microdosing. Like I'm like, whoa, I'm feeling it today. Or if I'm like I'm
Yeah.
not feeling it, I'm just like I'm not feeling it. So it's like a positive or negative, a positive effect of that is just being more aware of how you feel going into it, and
hmm
yeah, just pushing yourself is just that's your own mind, in my opinion. So I don't think that's necessarily a microdose. So, but the microdose for sure, but definitely being more aware of how your body feels.
I
Absolutely.
like it.
Cool.
Good stuff. Is that all, Danny?
That's all I had to say. Other than I'll sneak this in at the end. October 27th, I turned 24. It's my 24th birthday today, so you already fucking know.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was
Damn.
gonna keep that subtle until the closing remarks.
Birthday boy today. He keeps that on the low.
On the low.
Yeah, that's crazy. Happy birthday. I'm sorry I didn't know. I'll have to send you a gift or something.
Not your fault, bro. I wanted to I was saying to my dad yesterday, this is the first birthday I've had where like I feel like a lot of years you get real like a couple of days leading up, you get real excited, you're thinking about your birthday or plans. And then other years, like more recently, I've had it's kind of like self-loathing where I'm like, I don't even want to do anything. I've been like, when I'm in a bad mind state, I'm like, fuck it. Like, I'm just going to stay in and pity myself. So I've had both of that. This is the first year where I feel so grounded where I was like, fuck it. Like, I'm still going to do the podcast today. I'm not going to let that, like, I've just been so happy with my day-to-day routine and my lifestyle as it is that I said to myself, I'll probably wind up going out later with some friends, but I said to myself, like, if I went through my normal day's routine and just did a podcast and worked out and did what I would do any other day, that would be a great birthday for me because I'm so happy with where I'm at in life right now. So,
that's awesome, bro.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm glad to get one of my close homies on for this and get you guys to link up and talk and stuff. So that's what I'm here for, just facilitating the good vibes. You already know.
I really appreciate you guys having me on. That was awesome.
Yeah, thank you for doing it, and appreciate it. Happy birthday again, and I'm glad I got to see you on your birthday. And Devin, it was great meeting you. I'll definitely be in touch. Hopefully, I get to meet you sometime in person too, and we'll be in touch. Have a good one. Thanks, as always.
Peace out.
All right, peace out. Much love.